So Joe Goodberry posted this stat today, and I thought it was interesting. And you already know, guys, on this channel, we do not just look at a tweet and talk about it. On this channel, we go crazy, okay? Because I'm going to go ahead and talk about this tweet. I need to have concrete proof and concrete evidence. And yes, we went back to the game logs of 2022, 2019, and 2014 so I could put together an exact spreadsheet of exactly what he's talking about here. Because he's talking about how Yoshi actually had 21 preseason targets so far in 2 games, which is absolutely crazy because he now leads the Bengals in the most preseason targets of all time in history, and he's only played 2 of his 3 games. Just keep that in mind. Kind of crazy. And then he talks about here how the Bengals have had wide receivers see this much in preseason since Kobe Hamilton, that matched 20 targets over 4 games in 2014. So 2014 and 2019, you're going to see for Cody Core, they played 4 games instead of 3. For Kendrick Pryor, he played 3 games. Trent Irwin here played 3 games. And then Vendrell Bryant played 4 games. Now, I hate to say this, but Joe Goodberry here is incorrect about Trent Irwin at 18 targets in 2022. I actually looked it up, and 2022, he had 3 targets week 1, he had 7 week 2, and he had 10 week 3, which actually puts him exactly at 20 targets on the preseason 2022. And I'm not sure why I am so freaking white right now. But nonetheless, guys, let's go ahead and move myself over here, and you're going to see why in a second, because we have to bring up this beautiful spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet is going to give us all the numbers for all, not only now, this preseason, but also preseason from the past, the players he did bring up. So starting off right away, yes, Yoshi sits right here at 21 targets in 2 weeks, 9 catches. He also does have 94 yards and a 43% catch percentage. Now, comparing that to other rookie, Chase Brown, he's actually at 5 targets, 4 receptions, 34 yards, and 80% catch ratio. Where is he? Charlie Jones, right here. 12 catches, 6 targets, 69 yards, and a 50% catch ratio. Now, keep in mind that our backup quarterbacks so far have been absolutely trash. Jake Browning has looked good, but Trevor Siemian has looked absolutely horrendous, okay? It is what it is. He has not looked good at all. So that definitely is going to impact receivers, their numbers. But to see 21 targets in 2 weeks is absolutely insane. And honestly, Charlie Jones has also gotten 12. And he's probably going to end off with somewhere near 20 targets after next week. And again, this is 3 preseason games versus 4 for the 2019s and 2014 guy. Other than that, though, really the most standout player so far, other than Yoshi, has been Charlie Jones, which I thought was kind of interesting because I haven't really seen too much of Charlie Jones in his preseason games, but surprisingly enough, he's actually putting up some decent numbers. Trent Irwin was 3 targets, 2 receptions, 46 yards, 67% catch ratio. So now taking a look at all-time, yes, Yoshi easily leads all-time numbers right now, and he's going to continue to lead all-time numbers into next week. And hopefully, if he can put up maybe a 100-yard game next week, I really hope he does, he will now officially have the most yards of any wide receiver in preseason, plus having the most targets. And if he can have more than 5 receptions, he will also have the most receptions of any preseason player in history of the Bengals. Which is crazy to say this because, yes, he could put up all these numbers. And realistically, these are logical situations he can do. Which I still cannot believe how, a 6th round pick here is putting up crazy numbers. And really, again, I know it's preseason and you're like, oh, well, come on, man. It's preseason. Who cares? Listen, preseason is just the pregame for regular season. So if he's putting up numbers like this in preseason, that means talent is there. That means he has some level of skill that's going to translate to the regular season. I mean, look at the numbers here. Carter, 3 targets, 1 catch, 6 yards. Nothing. You know, Stanley Morgan, 2 targets, 1 catch, 7 yards. That's it. It translates. I mean, these guys aren't putting up anything. And yes, you might say, well, that's because Andrei is getting all the numbers. Yeah, because he's open. These other guys aren't getting open. They aren't making plays. They aren't doing anything. Which, again, you know, not only does that spell he's going to make the team, obviously, that's clear, but it also spells, again, he has that skill. He has that, as they would say, dog in him. And I usually don't use that term too often, so there you go. But again, like I said, yes, I understand it's preseason. And again, yes, we've had a bad quarterback so far in this preseason, so we're going to see what happens next week. We're going to see if he continues his numbers or if he, you know, does fall off a little bit. I mean, if he falls off, he's still going to be the leader in the most targets. But we'll see how he ends up this preseason. But I will say another player to take a look at, though, is right here, Kwame. Kwame has actually secretly put up some good numbers. And that's surprising to say that when we have seen Jackson be pretty much the #1 target, it seemed like, for Jake Browning. Jake Browning loves throwing to Jackson. He's only put up 7 yards in the preseason, but he's gotten 8 targets because for some reason Browning loves to just check down to him over and over and over again, and actually caused one of his interceptions because of that. But other than that, though, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, and I will be live for our final preseason game this upcoming, I think it's Friday, right? Let me double check. Because so far, every single preseason game has been Friday, so my brain just automatically thinks Friday. It's Saturday, so I will be live on Saturday, August 26th. It's actually at 6:05 p.m. I kind of forgot the last preseason game of the year is always like, it's not always like early. I mean, 6:05 is still kind of late. But even for a Saturday, it's a little bit earlier than the other ones. The other ones have been, what, 8 o'clock and 7:30. So a tad bit earlier than that. It's also going to be the Commanders. Okay, so we're going to be playing the Commanders. That should be a good contest for us. We'll do a pregame show of what to expect from that game probably tomorrow. I'll probably have a video out tomorrow talking about what to expect from that game. Breaking down, like, who we're looking for, who we're not looking for, who's going to start, who's not going to start. Obviously, Joe Burrow is not starting in that game. That's pretty dang obvious at this point. But definitely tell me down below your thoughts, opinions, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.